Hello, everyone, and welcome to the class. This is David A. Cox with PCClassesOnline.com. We have a live audience tuning in today from all over the world, from the United States, Canada, Venezuela, from the Caribbean, all over the world. And today we're going to be talking about Instagram. Instagram is one of my favorite social networks. If you haven't been on Facebook or Twitter because you think it's too negative, then this is definitely the social network for you. Instagram's all about feeling good. It's about sharing photos and just it's a very refreshing change to some of the other social networks that are out there. I think really Instagram is for everyone, no matter what. If you appreciate good photography, if you like taking photos and sharing them with your friends, it's really wonderful. The other part I like is that it's so easy. This class was scheduled for an hour. I doubt we're actually going to even go that long. I think we're probably looking closer at half an hour, if that. So I'm going to be going over all the different aspects of Instagram, show you a few tricks, and hopefully have some fun in the process. So the first thing we're going to do, by the way, you are looking, in fact, at my phone right now. And as I say every time we teach a live class, when you end up seeing my phone, I am not responsible for the content that my friends post. So I've already checked it out and it all looks kosher, so I think we'll be okay. So Instagram, it's all about taking photos, and one of the big parts of Instagram is about making your photos look older than they actually are. It adds this little vintagey, if that's a word, vintagey effect to your photos that just kind of gives it that nostalgia that you wouldn't have with a really crystal clear, normal photo that you'd take. So I want to go over the social network, kind of how it works, and what the different buttons do. Starting with this button you see here all the way at the bottom left of the screen. This is just the home button. It's your news feed, the equivalent to the news feed, at least on Facebook. And this is where you're going to see everyone who you are friends with on Instagram, all the photos that they post. Now, I myself, for those of you who don't know me, if you're maybe watching this video on YouTube, I live at the very tip of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, so I'm into everything nautical. I love lighthouses, and so I follow a lot of people who shoot the same kind of photography. Also, one thing you'll pick up on over the course of this class, I actually own an aerial drone, which I use for good purposes. I'm not blowing anyone up, but I use it to photograph Cape Cod from a very unique perspective, and you'll see that pop up. So in case you're wondering, no, I don't own a jetpack. I don't own a helicopter. I just own a teeny tiny drone. So as I go through here, I can see all the photos that my friends have posted. Now let's say I see one that I really like and I want to show my appreciation to that friend. If you want to like a photo, all you have to do is double tap on the photo, and you'll see when I did that, a little heart appeared. The person who took the photo gets a little notification, and it's sort of just like you're saying to them, keep up the good work. So you can go through here. Obviously we have a whole bunch of different photos. You're definitely already starting to see a theme here probably. That's a friend of mine who's one of the co-stars on the television show Ghost Hunters, so he tends to share creepy photos like that. And so this is where you're going to see all of that kind of content. Now you'll also see here in the different posts that people can put comments, a way to go a little bit beyond just hitting the simple like button. So let's see if I can find one that I really, really like here. Okay, we'll go with that one there. That's kind of cute. So say I really want to give this person a shout out and say, I really appreciate your work. One way you can do that is if you scroll towards the bottom of any of these posts, you'll see here that there's also a like button here. It's the same thing as double tapping on the photo, but there's also a button here that says comment. So I can tap on that and I can say, great work. And that person just received that comment. You'll see my little name here, should any of you want to follow me. I really use Instagram just for fun. I don't take it seriously. I don't do it for business purposes. But my little name here is P-Town Drone Boy. P-Town is the shortcut name for Provincetown, which is where I live. So that's where you post your comments. You'll also see towards the right-hand side, we have these three little dots. When I tap on that, you'll see what those are. If anyone should ever have an inappropriate photo, there's no nudity allowed on Instagram. So for those of you who are looking for that, sorry about that, but you can report it as inappropriate. Also, you can connect into Instagram your Twitter account. So if you like Twitter, personally, I'm not really a fan. You can tweet out that person's photo. And you can also copy a URL. So that's just the website address of where that photo actually is going to live. And so if you want to share it on a different social network, like let's say Facebook, you can have a link where you can share that information. But that being said, if it's a photo that you are taking, there's actually an easier way to do that. We'll go over that in a little bit. For now, I'm going to hit cancel. Now, the next button you're going to see here, this right here I think it looks a little bit like a compass, but and appropriately, that is the Explore button. So what's going to happen is it's going to kind of look at what you're doing and try to figure out what you might enjoy. And there's two different ways that you can search for content on Instagram. You can search by users, and you can search by hashtags. We'll go over what both of those are. Your search bar is up here at the very top of Instagram. I'm going to just tap into it real quick. And you'll see here we have two categories, users and hashtags. So for example, if you wanted to follow me and you knew my username on Instagram, P-Town Drone Boy, you just type that in right here and you'd see my profile pop up. This is really only going to be useful. Sorry, let me switch there. This is really only going to be useful if you know the exact profile name of the person you're trying to follow. So not a lot of people really use this because there are other ways to find your friends. And then over here on the right-hand side, we have hashtags. Hashtags on Instagram work basically the same way that they work on Twitter. A hashtag is represented by the pound symbol. So when I am posting a photo, I can attach certain keywords. And that's basically how you think of a hashtag. It's a keyword. So let's say I am a fan of lighthouses, and I want to see who else out there is a fan of lighthouses and is posting that kind of thing. I can search under hashtags, type in the word lighthouse, and then search. And you'll see here that the word lighthouse, singular, not plural, has 772,000 posts. I guess it's a pretty popular topic. And then there's some other versions of that. So lighthouses, plural, etc. But the most popular one is going to be the one at the top. So let's just tap on that. And here are people who have shot photos of lighthouses and added that hashtag to their images. So let's look at this one here, the very first one. Okay, beautiful shot. Looks like this person is probably from Sweden, judging by the other hashtags I see here. So I may like it, double tap. And if I really like this person, if I think, you know what, I'm going to like the content that this person posts, you see this person's name up here. Yep, it does say Sweden. See the person's name up right here at the top? She's going to probably hate me for putting this in the video. I can tap on her name. Oops, sorry. I misclicked. There we go. And if I want to follow her, you'll see here there's a little button that says plus follow. So I can add her to my followers. And I can see here she seems to be pretty popular. She has 757 followers. I don't have nearly that many, but like I said, I kind of very casually post. I don't take it that seriously. So that's how you can follow someone based on their likes. And you can search for really whatever you want. Like I said, just understand you do have to keep it PG-13 on this social network. Next is we have this button right here. And this is where you're going to go to actually post a photo. So to do this, give me 1 second here. I'm going to pause the video. I have to set up one aspect here. I have a client, a little piece of information on my client here that I just need to get off the screen. There we go. Okay. So when you click on that button that you saw at the bottom, that's where you're going to go to post photos. Now you can either do this from photos that you've already taken, or you can just take a photo right then and there. A lot of people find it easier to take the photo with the normal camera app, whether you're on an iPhone or an Android, and then bring it into Instagram later on. So for example, this is one I shot. I'm not really a fan of that one. It's just, I don't like the fact that everything seems to be a little too dead. Here's one we have in winter, lighthouse appropriately, hey, that I took, again from my drone. So when you find the photo that you want to use, just tap the next button at the very top right. Now if it's one that you have saved on your phone, you'll see that we have this little arrow up here at the top. And if I do that, it'll show you the various other, I can go here into this section right here, and it'll show you, oops, sorry about that, the various other categories that I have here on my phone. So these are the different albums I have saved. They synced over from my computer, but for now, we're just going to use, you know what, we'll use that photo, what the hey. So let's go to next. And this is the part where you're going to add all of those fun effects to Instagram. This is where you're going to make it look old, if you like that, make it look vintagey. And so at the very, very bottom here, you'll see all these different effects, and you just simply tap on them, and you'll instantly see the results. And there's a whole bunch of different effects. There's a lot of programs that are coming out now, both for the computer and other phone apps that kind of mimic the same effect. So it's just all these different images. Some of them make them look, from the 1970s. Others make them look black and white. But you can really choose whatever effect you're going for. I think I'm going to just do this one here. Kind of brings out the blue, at least in the background. Then we have some other effects that you'll see right here. Starting with this one right here, if your photo is a little bit crooked, you can correct it within Instagram. You don't need to do that in your normal photo program. And you just move your thumb back or forth, and you'll see it'll adjust it as little as 1 degree. And you have these little guidelines. I like to use the horizon as my guide. So that right there looks about right, I believe. When you're done, you can hit done. Some other effects we have right here is a frame. So frames, sometimes they look great, and other times they don't really add much to your photo. Personally, I don't really like using frames, but some people do. Now this next effect right here that looks like a blur, it looks like a raindrop here. That is technically blur, but it adds an effect, a very popular effect that you may have heard of before called tilt shift. And tilt shift, I have to be very careful when I say that with my accent, basically makes it look miniaturized. So if you have cars, let's say you're in a building looking down, it'll make all the cars look like toy cars. And how tilt shift actually works is it combines the effect of blurring certain areas of your photo and sharpening others. And the effect that you're left with makes it look miniaturized. There's 2 different tilt shift options in Instagram. If I tap this once, you'll see it gives me kind of a circle. Now what it means is that if you look carefully at that photo, the edges all the way around are all blurred, and only the very middle of that photo is crystal clear. Now the other option, which is more commonly used, is to use a line. And if I tap it again, it changes. So now the middle part of my photo is actually clear, and the edges are blurred. Again, it just gives it that illusion that everything is miniaturized. Now the other thing you can do is if you use 2 fingers on your screen, you're going to kind of be able to see what I'm doing here. You can move around the tilt shift. So you can rotate it, you can make it grow, so you can really isolate the area that you want to be in focus. So if I want that area there to be in focus, so now all those little houses in the background look miniaturized. The only downside with this one is because we have 2 different images, one that's heavily vertical and one that's horizontal. This probably isn't the best example I could ever give for tilt shift because of those 2 differences. But normally, if this tower wasn't here and I was left only with that, let's see if I can find a different image to show you that with. Well, here's one I actually already did. So you can see, same kind of effect right there. See, it looks miniaturized. It's like a little toy set. Okay? So now some other effects that you can use here, well, really just one more, is we have a little sun icon. And sometimes when you add these various effects, it tends to darken the image. And so what that will do is it'll just kind of brighten everything up. And some people like to go the opposite way. They like it to be a little bit grayer. Okay? Technically, I believe this is actually contrast. It's not technically brightness. So you do that, it just kind of adds a little bit more contrast to your image, a little bit more saturation too. Hit done. And when you're done and you're ready to post this to your Instagram account, just hit the next button at the very top right. Now, final step here. This is where you can get into adding your own hashtags. You can add a description. If there are people, you can tag them. So here you can tap in and you can write a description. So in my case, I might put, this is actually a photo I took in Chatham, Massachusetts, which is sort of mid-Cape. So if I want other people who are searching for Chatham to be able to find this, I can add, you'll see down here we have the hashtag symbol. Hashtag and pound are the same symbol. So if I tap that, I can now type in Chatham. Another thing is that hashtags are always one word. There are no spaces. So if I, for example here, if I wanted to put Cape Cod, even though Cape Cod is 2 words, when you're dealing with a hashtag, it would be 1. Okay? So I can type in other elements here that I want. Those other elements are not going to be searchable. Only the hashtags are going to be searchable. Now let's say a friend of mine is in this photo and I want to make sure that they know they're in it. There's 2 different ways you can actually do it. First is you'll see we have a little @ symbol here. And so when you do that, let's see if I can, okay. So I just hit the letter C here as an example. So let's pretend, this is one of my favorite little restaurants, let's pretend the canteen is in this photo. By adding the @ symbol and then tapping on their name, they are going to receive a notification that I have put them in this photo. It shows that they are in the photo. And they'll receive a direct message that says that. I'm not going to do that, but that is one way you can let your friends know that they're in your photos. Also, if their face is in your photo, you can click on this option here to tag people. So at that point, what you do is imagine we had faces of people. Let's actually go to a different photo here real quick. Give me 2 seconds, just pull up a different image. Let me go. Oh, we'll just use one of my little headshots. Okay, we'll do this one here. That's me. So let's say I want to tag myself in it. I would just tap tag, tap on the person's face, and then you would just start typing in their name. I don't know if I can actually tag. Let's see, David. Oops. Okay. And there I am. So I hit the little search icon. There I am, and now it knows that that is me. Okay. Also, if you're taking a photo in a location, you can note the location, and just simply by enabling this option. When you tap here to name this location, it is going to look for locations that are near you. Okay. So it's looking at all these different options here. I'm not going to actually use that, so we'll just hit cancel. And here is where you have the final option where you can attach this to other social networks. So instead of having to take a photo and then share it individually to every social network that you're connected to, like Facebook, Twitter, etc., you can just tap on each of these options and it will automatically post to those social networks for you. When you're done, tap share, and that's it. Now, the other option you can do here in Instagram, very few people use this, is let's say I want to post an image, but I don't want the whole world to see it. I only want 1 or 2, maybe people to see it. Up here, you'll notice we do have an option to send a direct message. And so that means I'm just going to tap on an individual person or people who I want to send this to, and only they will receive it. The public will not be able to see it. So let's get out of here and let's go over the final few aspects of Instagram. Down here, you'll see we have a little heart icon up, and someone just either liked my image or started following me, something like that. When you tap on that, that is likes of your friends and fans, okay? There's 2 different aspects to this. We have news, which I'm on right now, and following. So what news means is it's people who have started following you. I don't know if this person here is actually in this class right now, but these are people, it's saying who has liked my photos, who has started following me. You'll see here that in this case, these 2 people here, by the fact that it has a plus and a person icon, it means that I am not following them. So one of the things I can do is if this person here is following me and I want to return it, I can just tap on this icon here and boom, I'll start following them. I tend to just follow my friends. I don't really follow fans that much just because of who I am, what I do. But you can kind of go through here and see your history. Also, we have a following option up here. So what this means is this is the people who I do follow, what they have liked. So it's sort of like with, if you look at social networks like Spotify, you can see what music your friends are listening to. And sometimes if you and a friend of yours have the same kind of taste, it's fun to look at what your friend is listening to, and hey, maybe you'll discover something new. Same idea with this. You can, if you and, for example, I follow this company here, White Orchid Studios, I can see what they're liking, and you never know, I might discover another photographer out there who I want to follow. Same idea. Finally here, we have this little card, and that is your profile. So this is where you can see your posts. So if you're trying to find a photo that you posted a couple weeks ago, this is the easiest place to go. So you see some of my little work that I've done here. Okay. Usually I try to share photos from my little drone, but not always. There's my drone. But also at the top, you'll see here, I can actually see who is following me. I can see who I'm following. If you ever don't like your profile name, you can change it at any time. That's one of the features I really like about Instagram. You know, with Facebook, they only let you change it, I think, twice ever. But with Instagram, you can change it whenever you want. So if I want to edit my profile, it's as easy as clicking Edit Profile. And I can change my name, my profile name, my website, description, really whatever I want. Okay. Also, we have a couple of different ways that you can view your photos, actually 3 different ways. The first is actually the one right here. This is the grid view. So this just shows you a pretty broad overview of your images as thumbnails. And if you want to see it blown up in full screen, just simply tap on it and you can see the full image. Also here we have the list view, which is how we had it at the very beginning. That's how you see it there, which just kind of looks like your normal news feed. Also here, this little icon right here is GPS. So one of the options when you're taking a photo with Instagram is you can tag the location. So with this, I can look and see exactly where, for those of you who use the Apple iPhoto software, it has the same thing built into it. I can zoom in here and I can see exactly where I was when I shot all of these photos. Kind of cool. So for example, here at the end of McMillan Wharf, I can see I've shot a few photos. That's my mother right there. There's a boat that you can see that was docked. So it's just kind of cool. You can see really exactly where you were when you shot all of these photos. And in just a little bit, I'm going to show you where to go to put that setting in. Okay. Question just came in from someone who's here live. Normally I answer all the questions at the end after we've recorded, but this one's pretty relevant, and it's from Patrick. And Patrick asked, if you change your profile name, how do your followers know? It automatically updates on their end. So there's no need to notify everyone. You just do it, and immediately if they were following you at a different profile name, it just adjusts on their end. You don't lose followers when you do that. Thank God, because if you did, it would be a nightmare, especially if you have hundreds or thousands of followers. Let's see. Final little thing I think we have here is the gear icon, which you'll see again on the contact card portion. And up here is your various settings. And really the only one I really want to put out here is find people to follow. Why this is useful is it will look at people you're already connected with on Facebook if you use Facebook. Also, you can have it log into your contacts. One of the things I love about this, unlike that god-awful social network LinkedIn, it's not going to send emails to all of your contacts. That's what I hate about LinkedIn, is they really kind of, for me, they pass that, they cross the privacy line, if you will. So with this, I can see what of my friends who I follow on Facebook are also part of this. For example, here we've got my friend Mark, who's part of PC Classes Online. He helped us with our website. I can tap the little plus friend sign, and hey, now I'm following him. If you ever need a website design, this guy is like the best of the best. BigBlueDesigns.com. There you go, Mark. You got a shout out. Also, we have a few other options here. Not really anything big, I think, that we need to go over. Although, if you like your photos, I kind of recommend this option here, to save your original photos. It just means that if you're on an iPhone, for example, it's going to save into the camera roll the photo that you created within Instagram. So you'll have the original, the untouched up version, and you'll have the modified version that you've used to make it look vintagey. Okay? Oh, one thing I realized I forgot to post here is that I'm going to put my phone down on my computer so we can focus on the controls here. So this is the screen when you're going to post a photo if you're not bringing it in from one of your photo library images. This right here, of course, is your shutter. So that's where you're going to go to take the image. This button right here, I'm sure some of you are familiar with. That's your grid. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, this is what we call the rule of thirds. And there's a basic rule in photography called the rule of thirds, and it just means that generally speaking, photos tend to look best when the main subject of your photo appears somewhere on one of these intersecting quadrants, okay? Or it can appear on any of these lines, but you don't want it floating around up here. It's going to look better if it's either here or here, okay? Another option, you see here we have a video camera. You can post video to Instagram. I believe it is, I meant to confirm this and I didn't actually. I believe it's a 30-second video is the maximum. I've got to double check on that. If I'm wrong, when we produce this video, I'll put a little thing at the bottom of the screen. But it's 30 seconds of video, and so it's just kind of a fun way to post it. One thing you'll catch of me if you happen to watch this video in the near future, a lot of you have heard of the term selfies before. There's a new term now called dronies. For people who own an aerial drone, a dronie is when you have the drone hovering right in front of your face, and then you suddenly pull away at full speed, and the public sees where you really are standing. So you can go up and reveal, in my case, Cape Cod. For my dronie that I'm planning, we have this, the tower that you saw earlier, the Pilgrim Monument. I'm going to be on the very, very tippy top of the monument, have the drone hovering right in front of me, and then boom, pull right away at full speed. I think it's going to be a really cool shot, provided I don't go in reverse and then crash into my face, which would be tragic. Also, we have a flash option right here. When you're in the video mode, it just leaves the flash on. So if you're trying to shoot video and it's dark out, that's one way to light your subject. And final thing I think we have to go over, and I realize I've said that a few times, is just the settings for Instagram in case it doesn't show you certain aspects like your location. And for that, I'm going to go into the main part of my phone, go into settings, the gear icon. From here, you're going to want to go into privacy. Two aspects here. Microphone is where you're going to want to go if you plan on shooting video with Instagram, but more importantly is location services. Any apps that are listed under location services just means that they have the ability to use either GPS through Wi-Fi or cell towers to know your location. So for something like the camera, that I like being able to see, hey, where was I standing when I shot that? Other apps like Facetune, which is an app I don't think we've gone over that. It's sort of like Photoshop for iPhone if you want to just make your skin look a little bit clearer. I don't really care if that app knows where I am. But down here, you'll see we have Instagram. My recommendation is that you have this little setting here turned on. So let's see here. Let me just go through. I believe someone just asked real quickly my info. There you go. P-Town Drone Boy. For those of you who are here live, I'm going to stick around so I can answer your questions. For those of you who have been enjoying this class, whether it's on YouTube or on our website, I thank you for watching us. Of course, we really do appreciate it anytime you click the like button if you're watching us on YouTube. You can check out our website at pcclassesonline.com. We are a completely free public service, as everyone who is here live will attest. Oh, thank you. Calvin just gave me a shout out. It's 15 seconds for video, not 30. So I'll still add that back in when I go to edit this segment. But that does it for us today. Thank you, everyone. We'll hopefully see you soon. For those of you who are here live, you guys hang out 1 second. We'll get to your questions.